Ladies and gentlemen, the Near Fall Network proudly brings to you the modern-day Micah Russia, the guru of grappling gab, the one, the only Shooter!
Say hello to the ball guy and bow down for your king. Welcome to Drive-By with Shooter. And now, Drive-By with Shooter and King of Nerds. We're getting there. We're transitioning into it. It's not official, but sort of unofficial. It's a work in progress. I am Mike Shooter Marcus, and with me, as always, my co-host, none other than the King of Nerds, Mike Forrest. What's going on, Mike?
Great afternoon. How's it going today, peasants?
Good day for me, I know that.
I'm having a solid.
Me too, man. Me too. And we're getting hyped up, man. We're a week away from Wrestlemaina. It's a crazy time, and we definitely have some stuff to touch on that before next week when we just go full-blown Wrestlemania, man. But you and I were talking this week, and we were also talking amongst ourselves, and by that I mean the MVPs of the Near Fall Network, the Near Fall Nation as we so lovingly refer to them. And one of the topics that came up was the greatest Royal Rumble ever. This event that is taking place, I believe, in Saudi Arabia in late April. And we were kind of going back and forth on it in a friendly way. Of course, you and I agree a lot, but sometimes we don't agree. And I want to I want to sit down. Last week, we had an obvious topic every single podcast talk about. Daniel Bryan returning. How could you not talk about that, right?
You had to talk about it. It's the biggest deal in a long time.
Exactly. But what no one's really talking about when it comes to, is it important, is it right, is it wrong, yada, 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 is the greatest Royal Rumble ever. So we're going to do that, Mike. We're going to take this to task, okay? So this event in Saudi Arabia, I'm not sure of the exact date. I know it's in later April, so it's shortly after WrestleMania.
They'll let us know.
They'll let us know. It's out there, but, you know, I have so much time to research.
You know, they'll really let us know when it gets close.
Because after Mania, that's all they're going to talk about.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's realistically the next pay-per-view after Mania.
Precisely. And I guess the first thing I want to go over is the card that we know so far and the problems that I have with it. And I'm sure that you will agree with some of it. But the card that we have so far, besides the 50-man greatest Royal Rumble ever, they have announced that there will be 7 championship matches. So all the men's titles on the main roster will be defended. I'm going to say that again. All of the men's titles on the main roster will be defended. Because, you want to pick this up?
Because we're in Saudi Arabia, guys. Women aren't allowed to do things there. Don't be stupid. Women have titles and matches and stuff. That's ridiculous. Women have babies and do what they're told. I almost said do what we're told, which would have implied I was a woman. I'm not. I'm a man with a penis. Glorious, photogenic penis. Just to clear that up in case you didn't know. Anyway, it's Saudi Arabia, and women aren't allowed to do things in Saudi Arabia.
Precisely. So, I would assume they're not even going. I could be wrong. If maybe there's other legs of the tour that they will be there, but they can't wear their typical gear. Why risk it? I wouldn't even go to the WWE.
If you're not going to let me wrestle, I'm not even going to show up.
No.
It's not like that. I don't even think they'd be able to make appearances, would they?
They'd have to be in full garb, I would believe.
Yeah, man, why even go? No, I'm cool on that.
And my thing is,
places where, if there was a place where white men weren't allowed to do things, I wouldn't go there. You know,
because it's not going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be miserable, and you're going to feel scared and worried the whole time.
It's going to be a colossal waste of time.
Yeah, I would never go to Eastern Europe because I feel like hostel is a real thing. And I don't want to go there and be scared the whole time.
And it very well could be. I don't know. I've never been there, and I don't want to tempt that
I'm not saying
fate.
it is. I'm just it's an irrational fear now, like sharks in swimming pools.
But is it that irrational?
So I don't.
Have you? That's like me saying, "Here, I'm going to sell you this elephant repellent," and you're like, how do you know it works? And I'm like, have you seen elephants around here? I'm wearing it.
I guess
Yeah.
I'd have to go there first. I'm not going though.
Exactly.
I don't.
Me neither.
I don't. Cool on that.
I'm with you on that. So I guess if as internet smarks would have a problem, there's no women's matches, but that is what it is. I don't have a problem with that. And I mean, you could take the issue that they're going to a place where that is something that is the way of life and say, well, how can you support a women's quote-unquote revolution/evolution if you're going to a place like that? But this is a business thing. This has nothing to do with that, and is just, if they don't go there, you look at the trip they did in India where Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks had to match, and they talk about all the time that people were chanting, "This is hope." Small steps, people, and this is one place that you can't even attempt to take that small of a step in.
No, not at all. Not at all. Best just leave it alone. I get the argument. I get why people are upset. One of our listeners, Jim Best,
right?
He expressed that he's very disappointed and upset that they're going to this country.
Right.
I respect that opinion. I, to a certain extent, agree with that opinion. But it doesn't make me feel any type of way.
No, and I agree. Again, it's a business thing. They're a global brand, and they prove that they're a global brand by doing stuff like this. So yeah, I totally get it.
I see the business side of this.
Exactly. But the other things that have been announced, and this is where, again, we all know that the card is subject to change. So the wrestling fan in me wants to think, well, this doesn't matter. The card is subject to change. But the person who has studied wrestling and seen how things trend says, crap, we already know some outcomes of these WrestleMania matches. They have 2 matches already announced, which is a Raw Tag Team Championship match between the Bar and the Hardys.
Yeah.
Did they also... Go ahead.
Just give this away?
Right. They also have an IC ladder match with Miz, Balor, Rollins, and Joe, and it's listed with Miz as the champion.
But Miz is currently the champion.
Which is correct, and the Bar is currently the champion. So, like I said, the fan in me is like, well, that's just what it is right now, so obviously they're kayfabing it.
With the IC title match, because they've got everyone involved.
Right.
It's a little bit different. And it would also be different if they said the Hardys are getting a tag team title shot. But they've advertised the Bar. So, maybe they don't want to give away. Maybe what we think they're doing is giving away that it's the Bar, but maybe this is their way of giving away Braun and whoever his partner is. They're avoiding that by just putting the Bar on it.
Which makes sense and also is forward thinking, which sometimes they don't do. So I don't know. And like I said, I'm trying to still think outside the box, and like as I did for Fastlane, I'm trying to avoid as many spoilers as possible when it comes to WrestleMania, even though that's hard when we do this and we run a page and we talk wrestling. It's what we do. But I'm trying to not be spoiled at WrestleMania, so I'm doing my best to keep it a surprise, and maybe this is them doing their part. I don't know. And again, I don't have a huge problem with it, but it is one of those things when you want to promote something and you want to promote it to the best way you possibly could. This stuff's coming out, they're announcing it, and the internet smark fans are going to be like, well, there you go. And I get that. I can't be mad that they take it like that, or however you want to phrase that.
Yeah, you can't get... I get getting upset about this. Of course. I mean, if you're upset because you feel they just gave away something, then sure, go ahead, but it's wrestling and anything can happen.
Exactly. And
I at first was like a little bit like, man, did they just give away a match? But also, I guess if Braun Strowman wasn't involved in this, would you care?
Yeah.
If Braun Strowman wasn't in this, you'd be like, whatever, it's Raw Tag Team titles. Who cares? Not SmackDown Tag Team titles. I'd probably be upset by that.
No, and I totally get it, because let's be honest, the SmackDown Tag Division is currently head and shoulders over the Raw Tag Division. So
it's the best tag team division
that
WWE's had since the very first roster split.
Yeah. I could definitely agree with that. So, I mean, I can see people taking issue with it. But, all this being said, you specifically stated to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I remember you saying, I hate this.
I do.
And I want you to have full forum to explain why.
I hate this for a lot of reasons. Okay? Initially, I want to explain that this is going to be weird because a lot of these are like circular arguments that lead back into other things.
A
that
circle
I hate
with
about
a circle
this.
and a circle?
Yeah, that just lead back into the same thing. So, first of all, I have issue with calling it the greatest Royal Rumble ever. Because, first of all, as far as I know, it's not for anything, right?
There's nothing that's been announced as of yet.
As of yet, but that could change. It could be for a title shot. Okay, so pardon the language, but fuck the Royal Rumble itself. So we've got the greatest Royal Rumble. This is the third biggest show of the year is the Royal Rumble. Now we've got the greatest Royal Rumble ever. So everyone that came before is trash, and this is the greatest one of all time for no reason other than there's 50 dudes in it. 25 of those are probably not even going to be like main roster people. And it's going to be for nothing. And we're having it 2 weeks after WrestleMania. So we're having the third biggest show of the year 2 weeks after WrestleMania, and it's ultimately for nothing. And I guess my problem is that it's on the network. You could call it all this and do all this and just make it a house show in Saudi Arabia. Make it just a big house show. And I'd be fine with it. If it was just like a big house show and we're just calling it this and it's just for the Saudi Arabians, right on. But now it's on the network. So now it's part of the schedule. It's part of your yearly schedule for this year. We've already had the Royal Rumble this year. It doesn't make sense to me. It's too much. So
you would be better with it if it wasn't on the network.
If it wasn't on the network, I'd be more okay with it. If it didn't have this name, if they called it the greatest battle royal ever, I'd be okay with it.
So here's my argument, Mike. What's in a name? Because greatest, by definition, and I'm literally looking at the definition right now, of an extent, amount, or intensity considerably above the normal or average. So technically, we're not saying that everything else is trash. We're saying this has 50 people, it's the biggest, and we're using greatest instead of biggest.
Okay.
So, I mean, again, a second definition of ability, quality, or immense considerably above the normal or average. So, I guess calling it the greatest is just saying it's got more quantity and maybe above average quality than the other Royal Rumbles, which you could still infer what you were saying, and I totally do. But, I mean, I guess if they were on TV, here's how I wanted to kind of break this down. If Michael Cole was on TV during WrestleMania promoting the greatest Royal Rumble ever and saying, this is going to be the greatest Royal Rumble ever, it's the Saudi Rumble, or something like that, then I would say, well, wait a minute, we just had a really awesome Royal Rumble that was also the debut of the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, and you're right away saying this is the greatest Royal Rumble ever, and it hasn't even happened yet. Just like I said, I've stated in talking to people and having conversations about this that they say everything is the greatest. You know, when they're building to this WrestleMania and this go-home show of Raw this coming Monday, they're going to say, this will be the best WrestleMania ever. They will say, this has the potential to be the best dream match ever when Shinsuke takes on AJ Styles. They will say those kind of things. It's just, it's salesman, it's business, it's what we do, right? So, I guess I'm okay with it because they're actually using it as, like, a name. So, like, instead of Great Balls of Saudi Arabia Fire, it's the greatest Royal Rumble ever. And that's just the name of that show there, and it's pertaining to the quantity of men participating. That's how I'm taking it.
Saudi Arabian Nights. Just
There
throwing
we
that
go.
out
There we go. Now that I can get down with that name too.
there. And just make it a house show. We don't have to see everything always.
We don't have to see everything always, but we're getting less pay-per-views, which we've discussed, and both of us are okay with.
I would rather see more games. Not war games, but what was it? The house show?
Starcade.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's kind of what I wanted to roll into, because I honestly think... See, the whole thing with Starcade was... Supposedly, it was going to be too expensive to justify doing this as a network special. Which is crazy, because they did the Japan network special way back when. Now they're doing this one, but maybe, with the fact that they're cutting down on the pay-per-views... Maybe this is a way that we're gonna, doing this dual-branded pay-per-view every month, once a month, instead of 2 to 3 a month, which is what it was really shaken out to be. Maybe this is us getting, specials like this in place. If that's what this means, if that means, hey, maybe in July of this year we're gonna see that Madison Square Garden show, the one where AJ won the title to combat the fact that Kenny Omega won the U.S. title. Maybe that's what this is going to lead to. Maybe we're going to get more networks. Right. Maybe we're going to get a network special that is a standalone, quote-unquote, live event house show, but it can be a supercard built up to something that doesn't necessarily have to be a TV storyline, but can still be fun and maybe even move a few things further if you need to. If not, we're just going to get some good interaction and good action. And if that's the case, and that's what this is leading to, then I am in support of it.
Yeah, okay, I can agree with that. If it leads to more like cool house shows, I'm okay. Yeah. But let's not start calling them greatest in your house. The greatest Road Wild.
The best King of the Ring there could ever king to be.
The best ever King of the Ring forever. Like, I don't ever want to see, the No Mercy times infinity. So many No Mercies. We know less mercy than no mercy. Like, just don't do that. But make them one-off cool things. That would be... I'm okay with that. If they're just like one-off cool things. Even... Like an In Your House would be cool. That would be like a cool throwback. If they're cool throwbacks, just don't make it the greatest thing we're currently doing.
Right. And again, and let me say this. We'll wrap it up like this. If there's going to be another Greatest Royal Rumble ever, as I stumble over my words, then it has to be 2 or 3 years from now in that same location. And that's just what it's got to be.
Yeah, it's got to be an Indian event, or Saudi Arabia, my bad. I was thinking they could move it to India, and then it came out wrong. I apologize. I don't think that they're the same place.
Oh, write your hate mail to Nearfall Network, care of. Anyway.
Bring it at me.
So yes, if 6 months from now we have another greatest Royal Rumble ever and it's in Australia, then I'm like, hey guys, come on, cut this shit out. But until that happens, I will be supportive of it and hope that this provides more fun for us who are network subscribers.
You've convinced me to hate this idea less.
That's what I'm here for, Mike. That's what I'm here for. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to roll into another hot topic.
Not an actual hot topic.
Not the store where you buy the Bullet Club gimmicks, but an actual discussion of something that happened.
Topics, like current factual things.
Current events in wrestling.
We do not need anime t-shirts or coffee mugs.
No, or studded wrist chain cuffs.
Do not collect Funko Pops.
No. Though I do have some New Day ones, but that was just a happenstance. Anyway.
I've got some Walking Dead ones.
Fair enough. Guys, hang tight. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. And this week, during the, I guess, media rounds, we would call it, WWE's newest superstar, Ronda Rousey, according to some people, hit a little road bump. And again, we're going to sit here and probably take two different sides on this, and that's perfectly fine with me. But what I want to do, I'll set this up. Ronda Rousey, the one that got the most attention at least, was Ronda Rousey on the Golic and Trey Wingo show. This was a clip that, by all means, people pointed it out, and I get why they were pointing it out, but, well, you know what? I'm just going to play it for you guys. I'm going to play the clip, and we will go ahead and talk about it right after. Here it comes.
So, Ronda, let's go back and start with when you knew from the MMA, when you were done there, when you knew in your mind, I'm not going to fight anymore.
I never said that.
So there is a possibility that you could go back in time?
There's a possibility that I could go back in time? That's your question to me?
Go back in time and fight. Go back in the octagon.
I do not have the ability to go back in time, no.
No. Would you fight again?
I don't know.
All right, so as you guys heard, and Mike, I know you heard as well, and we've talked about this as we've gone through, but in my opinion, Golic just completely bumbled the phrasing of this setup, statement, question, however you want to take it, right? Well, I mean, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree that he bumbled his wording. Yeah, definitely. But I also think that you could get what he was saying.
You could get what he was saying, but I'm going to be honest. When I saw this going around and catching fire, I guess, I heard, like, I had to listen to it, obviously. Now, let me be clear before we even get into this. I was a Ronda Rousey fan when she was the top woman in UFC and in MMA. I've been a Ronda Rousey fan since then, and I'm still a Ronda Rousey fan. So I 100% support this woman. I hope that she comes in and is the next, or is the female version of Kurt Angle, whatever you want to call it, and just takes to this shit like a fish to water and becomes the next big thing to steal Brock Lesnar's old gimmick.
I like that you said Kurt Angle and not Brock Lesnar.
Well, exactly, because, I mean, well, that's a whole nother debate, but you get where I was going with that. So, I'm putting all that on the table, so if I come off a little biased, I am a little biased, but I'm also going to try to be honest, okay? Mike Golic is, for better or worse, a professional broadcaster. He's been doing it for years, so even if he didn't go to school for it, I don't know what the guy went to school for. He was a pro football player before this, so I don't know.
Excellent at his job. He's excellent at his job.
I normally love what this guy does. I like the Mike and Mike show, but we all make mistakes. And he definitely bumbled the wording of this question. Now, people were throwing, and I'm going to say Ronda haters, or people that don't think she's ready for the spot that she's going to get, or that just have a general reason to complain about Ronda Rousey being in the WWE, that don't see that her being there helps every single, and I'll go so far as to say it doesn't even just help every single woman, it helps every person on that roster and in that company.
She's drawing eyes to everyone. She's doing everyone favors.
Exactly. But, you know, everyone threw her under the bus about how dare she get defensive and how could she be so dumb to not understand the question. Mike, when I heard this the first time, I was like, what the hell is he asking? It confused me. And I think I'm a pretty smart guy. I'm known as a grammar Nazi. He definitely forgot a comma.
Yeah.
He definitely, and commas they're a big deal. They really change the meaning of shit.
Oh, yeah. Commas make the difference between everything sometimes.
So, I guess, in defending Ronda Rousey, I guess what I'm saying is, I can see where she could have been confused, but I also kind of see that I think she took advantage of this, and I don't think that's where people were giving her credit. Did you not think maybe that she understood it, but then, and maybe not right away, but if you actually watched the video, you could see the gears turning, you could see her expression change, and I think she just kind of flipped it around and did an old school pro wrestling thing on him, did she not?
I never really considered that. I just watched the video. I didn't get really invested in this either way. I was like, oh, Golick bumbled his words, and then I thought, oh, she got mad.
Right.
I thought they both kind of were at equal fault here, and I just kind of went on with it. Like, I just accepted it. I wasn't, oh, Golick's an idiot, or I wasn't, oh, Ronda's so dumb for getting mad. I just was like, oh, okay, these are two reasonable things that could happen. And I just kind of, like, gathered my thoughts about it, and, okay, they're both kind of equally wrong here. And I moved on. I guess I never really considered it like you put it, but that's a great possibility. I mean, what if she is? What if this is just a good old, it's a work? What if it's just a good old school work?
Right.
That would be outstanding. I would love that.
Well, and I 100% don't think Golick was in on this and was like, I'm going to phrase this like this and we're going to get something out. I don't think that was the case. I'm just going to try to give her credit for picking something up, maybe even in a kind of late as she was answering, but taking advantage of it and turning it into something. Now, what I want to stress is, I think I've had conversations.
I don't think that's what she did, by the way.
You think it was just a flat out,
yeah,
I think she just got annoyed. This is how I'm going to answer it?
Yeah, I think she just got annoyed and was just like, yeah, I'm just annoyed now.
Well, here's the first section. Let's break it a little down. The first section where he basically asked, like, when you were done with MMA, she was pissed. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. She was pissed. But this is where I've had conversations with MMA guys, and I don't know if you've talked to MMA guys, and I don't mean, if you're just strictly an MMA guy, you're probably not listening to this podcast, so I really don't care what I'm about to say. But people who are strict MMA and don't watch wrestling generally hate pro wrestling. So when you're when you're a fan of both, like I am, and you try to have a normal conversation with the fact that, say, a Brock Lesnar or a Ronda Rousey or a Bobby Lashley or crossover stars, they don't take those guys or girls seriously at all. Now, Ronda started in UFC, but because she got 2 losses and she quote-unquote quit, she's a bitch and she sucks and she was a horrible, overrated fighter, which is like the most ludicrous thing I think anyone could say. I know Gina Carano, but guess what? Gina Carano they didn't create a flipping weight class for Gina Carano in the UFC. They created it for Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, it's absurd to say the woman wasn't good. The woman was amazing. She was an all-time talent. She's the reason that there is women's UFC division. So
precisely.
And don't take away from her just because you don't like wrestling.
Right. And the argument that I was making as well is, if you've listened, I listen to a lot of podcasts. It's no secret. And if you listen to people talk that claim to have contacts behind the scenes or this, that, and the other, they'll tell you that it seems to most people that in the MMA world, Ronda was on guard constantly. That's why she had that demeanor. That's why she always kind of looked pissed off. Because since she started training in judo with her mother, when she could walk, she's had to be the best. And she was in a sport where people take advantage of you and they try to find a weakness and they try to beat you. This woman is bred to be on the defense. It's just the way it is. So when the first question you're asked out of the gate is, when you realized you were going to quit MMA, like, I can see her being defensive about that. She doesn't like to lose. Who does? And maybe she didn't take it the best. I'm not in that girl's head, but I know that she talked about the fact that she wanted to kill herself after she lost a match. In my opinion, it was time for her to walk away and find something else. If that's how desperate it was, she doesn't need to be there, at least at this moment. And nobody that knows that she contemplated suicide over losing a fucking fight should be giving this girl shit for making a life-changing decision.
Yeah, I mean, the only time it's appropriate to kill yourself after losing a fight is if you're a samurai.
Precisely.
That is it. That is it. And that hasn't been fashionable for like 600 years. So, yeah, she definitely needed to look for a new line of employment. And this was the best opportunity. I mean, perfect.
She's a fan. In theory, she should take to this like a fish to water. I mean, does she need to work on her mic skills? Of course she does. but she was never a mic person in the UFC. So yeah, she's got to brush up on that. Yeah, they're pushing her right into the spotlight, because why the hell wouldn't you? You would be insane to have her and be like, we know we signed you and we're 2 months out from WrestleMania, but we're not really going to put you on the biggest show where we try to get the most eyes ever.
All you got to do is let her talk for up to this match. After this match, 3 words. Paul Heyman, woman.
Yep. That's what I've been screaming at the top of my lungs. She's been
wearing a I'm a Paul Heyman girl shirt for like 4 years.
Yep.
On Twitter. Let Heyman be her mouthpiece, and let her be Rowdy Ronda Rousey out here just kicking heads in.
Dude, this is fantasy booking, and I just have to throw this out there before I don't remember to say it, but could you imagine the Paul Heyman stable of Ronda Rousey and Roman Reigns?
Oh, man. That'd be pretty impressive.
And they both are double R names, too, so you could make cool logos and everything. See, I'm just throwing all these ideas out there, and someone needs to take them and run with them. But anyway, back to this interview thing. I think that it's just funny. I think that Rousey is under a very unfair microscope because of this. Everyone's watching for her to fail, which is sad. But that's just how society is. And this is just another thing. It was a bump. I think it was fine. But, I was talking about this with a coworker, and he said... I showed him the interview, and he said, the way that it was worded, nobody would go face-to-face and ask to Brock Lesnar, when you decided you were not going to fight anymore because you lost. No one's going to do that, because Brock Lesnar will rip their damn head off and shit down their neck. So, he was under the impression that they were taking advantage of her. I didn't see that either. I think Golick just bumbled his words. He's a professional. He just made a mistake.
Very good at his job, and he just made a mistake. Yes.
And I agree. And I think people are making this into a way bigger deal than it is, and I think that it'll all come out in a wash. But here's the other take that I really want to
What's the other take, Mike? Lay it on me.
Here's the other take that I want to throw on, that we're wrapping this up, but everybody seems to forget
it up that like a condom with a untrustworthy woman.
Well, wrapping it up, just, it's funny because as I brought to you earlier, when pro wrestling things happen with pro wrestlers, we should be happy. And everyone's throwing this out there, and I'm going to throw it to you, Mike, and I'm going to ask you... you're going to catch it, and I'm going to ask you, and we're going to set up a situation where when we explain this, you're going to realize, even if it wasn't on purpose, this was the perfect pro wrestling response, that if anybody else had done it, you'd have been like, this is awesome. So, go ahead, Mike Golick, ask your guest the same style of question.
Okay, so we're back here on Mike Golick and Wingo. So I've got with me, our guest, Dwayne Johnson. So, Dwayne, now, you had to end your football career there after college. Now, we know that was hard for you. If you could go back in time and continue that football career, maybe play another game, is that what you would like?
Whoa! Did this jabroni just ask The Rock if he could time travel? Whoa. Mr. Golick, did you just ask The Rock, the People's Champ, if he could time travel?
Well, you see...
It doesn't matter what you asked! Know your role and shut your mouth! Did Ronda just pull off the perfect working shoot? That's all I'm saying.
You might have just convinced me.
I know it wasn't the greatest Rock impression, but hey, that's not my thing. Guys,
we don't do good impressions here. That's not what we're about.
That's kind of the point.
We are not about sounding exactly like them. We're about conveying the essence.
The essence and the message. And all I want to convey is that if that was the case and this was asked to The Rock and he told somebody to know their role and shut their damn mouth, everyone would be sharing it and talking about how great The Rock is.
Broody poop candy asses.
So let's support our next, probably, Raw Women's Champion.
Nah, she won't be the next one. She'll be
You don't
the one.
think?
She'll be the one
Not
after
the next.
the one.
She'll be the one after the one,
She'll
right?
be the one after the one.
Our soon-to-be future Raw Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey. Guys, we're going to come back. We're going to clean up again. We're going to get the mops out. We're going to get the dustpans out. And we're going to talk about a few things still left on the table. Hang tight. We'll be right back. Alright guys, it's time to turn the lights on and get this party over, but before that we gotta clean up, because that's what we do in Shooter's house. Ain't that right, King?
I don't know, man. I ain't ever been to your house before.
You haven't, but I have a feeling you will be. Of course, it'll probably be a different house with the huge...
Nah, man, you have too many kids for me to want to stop by at that point.
The huge increase in Shooter family members that is coming quite shortly.
Like, when I have friends with kids, like, I'm that guy that calls and I'll be like, you'd be like, hey, you want to come over? And I'll be like, yeah, man, your kid's going to be there? And you're like, yeah, they live
yeah, they
here.
live
here.
here.
And I'm like, oh, no, man, I'm going to stay home, I think. You're like, why do you always ask if my kids are going to be here?
They live here.
You know, man, because, like, kids are cool for, like, an hour.
Hey, I get it.
But for an hour,
I do.
I'm like the best person to be around a kid, because I will
can handle an hour. Then.
I will have an insane amount of fun with children for an hour, and then after an hour, I'm like, I'm done with you. Go away from me. And kids don't understand that.
They don't. Just like cats.
Right? Like I'm just 100% like, you've lost my interest now. We've done all we can do. Be away from me, child.
Oh,
Except
all
my
that being,
niece. She's awesome.
Well, family members, there's always exceptions, but we're leading into WrestleMania. We're going to clean some of this up. Something that is kind of crazy, and a topic that we kind of touched on talking about this week when Charlotte was missing SmackDown and the Mixed Match Challenge. Wasn't a big deal from everything that's been reported. It was some issue with dental surgery. I don't know if she had dental surgery to fix the issue or the issue or the surgery caused the issue. That's unclear. She's going to be fine. But it always seems that right around WrestleMania, injuries creep up. Unfortunately, they happen. It's a full contact sport, as many of them famously say. It ain't ballet. So shit happens. But they always seem to be at the worst time. AJ Styles with an ankle tweak from what I'm hearing now. Charlotte with this thing. And Shane is like, going back to his zombie self, apparently.
Well, the spell's reversing.
The storyline continues. But it's funny because you brought up a point, and this is before we knew the extent of the Charlotte thing, but you said just stop house shows out of WrestleMania, like 2-3 weeks out of WrestleMania. And while I agree with that, I want to bring a point, and I didn't mention it to you, but a lot of these guys make money on these damn house shows. So you think they would be willing to do that?
I think if you're a top guy heading into a top match, you're probably willing to.
See, I don't know. Like
your Mania payout for, like, AJ Styles is probably going to get a pretty significant Mania payout, wouldn't you think?
I would assume. Yeah, I would assume.
So he could probably lighten his house show load for the last month going. And I'm not saying quit doing them altogether, but maybe instead of 4 shows a week, you do 2.
I couldn't agree. I don't want to disagree with you. I'm the same way. I'm like, God, please nobody get hurt. I would almost be like, you know what, just show replays on Raw so no one gets injured, because I want these matches to happen.
I'm almost sick to my stomach, like, the last month going into Mania. This year especially. This year it's been bad. I'm like, please don't ruin this. Please don't stop this from happening.
Right. And like I said, I don't disagree with you. I just don't. I know, having heard people in the business on podcasts and interviews, and, you know, when this question is brought up, they'll say, like, guys make money off of that. They don't. I know back in the day, they got $25 for being on TV. That was it. Because the way and I don't know how the contracts are structured. I know they probably have a guarantee and then an upside and a downside, and they get paid based on houses drawing. So just, when you read so-and-so makes this much in their contract, that doesn't necessarily mean that they only make that. They make more than that. It's based on what they sell. It's based on their merch. It's based on ticket sales for all these events. So missing events and not scheduling events means they make less money. Everyone talks about how much they work, and they're overworked, and they are, but I'm sure they enjoy those paychecks.
I'm sure they do. And look, man, if you're one of the guys in the Andre Battle Royal, sure, keep wrestling house shows,
Yeah.
Sure,
yeah.
keep doing it, but even as a company, you'd have to think on maybe scaling back. Like, do you really want Roman out there? Do you really want?
No,
let's just take AJ off the table, okay? Let's just take that injury aside because that's the one we keep going to because that's the dream match, right? That's the match everyone wants. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we really want to draw this Roman Reigns thing out for another 3 months if he tweaks his arm or something and his shoulder and he can't come back until SummerSlam and now this thing has to get drawn out for another 6 months?
Yeah.
I
don't like
think
that
about
idea.
that. And it's not even that I dislike the storyline. I think this is interesting and we're going to talk about it later. That's another one. Do you want to see this get drawn out?
No, I
John
don't.
Cena gets hurt and we have to have another Taker build up without the Taker?
No, I don't. No, I'm good.
Here's something no one's thought of. What if Taker's really not coming back and John Cena's just out here talking on Raw and getting everyone believing it, and then John Cena doesn't actually have a match at Mania? He's just like the host or something.
How would that reaction go? Would Cena be hated more now, or would Taker now be hated? Because I almost think people would be like, man, that was a real dickish thing for Cena to do, but screw you, Undertaker.
And it wouldn't even be his fault. Cena would have kayfabe made everyone hate them. He would have got real heat from Cena kayfabing him.
Right. And then Cena's like the hero now because he proved the Undertaker is just a dead bitch.
Well, I tried.
I don't know, but hey, the house shows are here to stay. It is what it is, and let's just, this season, this last week, I guess I should say, let's all keep our fingers, toes, and anything else we can crossed, that all these matches that we have on paper right now, we see in the ring.
Amen.
Speaking of seeing things in the ring,
this wasn't necessarily in the ring.
Ever women's battle royal that will take place in the ring, and the winner gets a uterus trophy.
That trophy sure does look like a uterus.
I want to pat myself and, obviously you guys, but myself because I did it.
Pat yourself. Don't
on the
pat
back for creating a meme within 3 minutes while I'm at work trying to train someone. Because when I saw this trophy in the morning, because as I've said, I do not watch stuff live. I have to watch it back on tape. I get up really early. It's just called real life, people. But of course I check things out online so I can stay up to date and do this damn show for you guys. I saw this trophy and I thought, dear God, it's a woman's vagina. And then I see online not everybody, I see a few sites kind of saying the same thing. And I'm like, nobody's made a meme, I have to make a meme. So I made a meme, put it out there, and none other than one of you and I's favorite podcasts, the New Age Insiders, pick it up. And they actually, as you stated, gave them their best segment of their show, their most entertaining segment of their show this week.
They talked about you, and by proxy me.
Right.
And by proxy AJ. They talked about us, but not really.
Yeah,
not
they didn't
really.
mention.
They talked about something you did.
They talked about the meme. The meme was on the video version of their show.
Coattails all the way there.
I'll ride any coattails, but
me
seriously.
and AJ.
That's
my country song. That's my country song. It's called Riding the Coattails. Riding the Coattails of Michael.
If we're going to sing a country song.
AJ along for the ride.
If we're going to sing a country song on this show, there's only one country song we can sing on this show.
Working, I don't know.
Spending my days working hard on the go.
But the hands on the clock keep spinning
Too slow.
I'm gonna do a punk pop version of that. I swear. I've already got how it goes in my head.
Let's do it. But anyway, there's not a lot to discuss here other than the fact that the trophy looks like a uterus. I showed the untouched version to my wife, star of the one episode that we have of Slightly Intoxicated Super Casual Female Wrestling Fan is coming back, I promise. And the first thing I just showed her, all I said was, hey, what comes to mind when you see this trophy? And she said, a vagina, within like 0.5 seconds. It looks like a uterus. It 100% does. And
what do you think the women thought when they saw it? Like,
they thought, why are we fighting for a golden uterus?
Do you think like Becky Lynch was like, oh, that looks like my lady parts, it does?
I sure hope so. I actually hope she said that out loud.
Like, could you imagine being one of those women and getting shown it and just being like, oh, man. Like Charlotte, she's probably so happy she's going to get beat by Asuka.
Right.
She's like, oh my gosh, I'm glad I don't have to win that thing.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Man, dodge the bullet.
And part of me is like, this is completely coincidental. And another part of me is like, they were like, hey, look, you're going to bitch about something, we're going to put a vagina on a trophy.
I guess. You didn't want a sex trafficker, so here is ladies' reproductive organs.
Here it is.
Not even like organs, like the whole system. Like the whole reproductive system.
It's a diagram of this is what makes babies.
It's like what you see on the walls at doctors' offices.
I got it. Hold on. Spoiler alert. Breaking news. Miz and Maurice had their child early. So obviously Maurice is going to be a super surprise secret entrance, and she's going to win it because it's the baby trophy, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it makes the most sense.
Yeah, her uterus has done the most work recently, so she earned it.
Right, exactly. I mean, I totally get it now. It all makes sense. I don't even know why we're discussing this.
We're terrible.
We are terrible.
This is an awful segment.
Now, I do want to make sure that I bring this up to you while we're on air, because I don't always think that I make time to let my friends know and wish them, Mike, to you, Happy Rusev Day.
Happy Rusev Day to you as well, sir.
Thank you, sir. Speaking of, Rusev got added to the U.S. title match. I'm excited for that. I don't know what it means, but what I hope it means. I don't necessarily think that Rusev needs to win this match. I don't think he will win this match, but I really hope that this gets him in a more top tier, even though that's a mid-card title, a more top tier kind of spotlight, I guess is the right word I'm looking for. And not only that, but can we finally do something where maybe we turn Rude and turn Rusev, do a double turn here? Because, let's be honest, Rude's way better as a heel, and Rusev is a face right now. There's not even an argument.
He's like one of the top faces on the show.
Exactly.
People wanted him to beat Nakamura at Fastlane.
Right.
The crowd was chanting for Rusev.
Right.
I don't want to see him win the U.S. title for a third or fourth time.
No, I don't either.
Because, one, it's been done to death. But two, it always seems to be the end of his push. He'll get this great push and this groundswell support from fans, and then he wins the U.S. title and goes completely stagnant and loses it all. Mm-hmm. And has to start building from the bottom again. Figure something new out. And he succeeds every time. But man, let's not cap him with this U.S. title. And yes, please, can we get Bob Roode to turn heel? Please.
He needs it so bad.
We need a heel like him on this show.
I agree.
I guess we have one. I guess Jinder is trying to be that type of heel, but he's not.
Actually, and that actually brings something up. I kind of want Jinder to win this title.
Shut your dirty mouth.
I kind of want Jinder to win this title because this is where it should have been. This is where Jinder's quote-unquote push should have started, with the U.S. title. Especially with the way his character is, it makes the most sense. So we have Jinder win because a baby Bobby Roode turned heel on a heel Rusev that's not really a heel but will now be officially a baby and causes Jinder to win, and then we still can drag this shit out, and then we get maybe an interesting, probably not, but maybe an interesting title reign from Jinder Mahal. I don't know. I think it could be done better, way better with the U.S. title, and maybe the rose is already off the bloom. I don't like the guy. I don't. He's nothing personal. He just does nothing for me. I wanted him to do well. It didn't go well. He's not shown me anything to improve. I'm just saying, I think his character with the U.S. title could work.
Oh, yeah, foreign guy with the U.S. title.
I know. I'm being super creative, aren't I?
Oh, man.
Yeah, we're breaking down all the barriers. Anyway, since Mike doesn't like that idea, let's move on to another one.
It's not even that I don't like that idea. I just don't like him. I'm never going to get over it.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. There is like 6 months of wrestling fun that we will never get back.
Yes, he ruined the show for 6 months.
I get it.
And
I totally get it.
I'll just never get past that. And it's not only that, it's just that he's so mediocre at his job. I'm not even going to tell you he's bad. He's just so mediocre at his job. I can't stand
Mike.
it.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Anyway.
Hell of a look.
Somebody who's never wrong because they throw every option at the wall, and no, I'm not talking about our old friend, who I am talking about.
He's not coming out today. I made sure the chain was on really good.
Extra padlock.
Yeah.
Who I am talking about is good old Dave Meltzer. The Observer reported...
Good old Uncle Dave.
He reported a few weeks ago that...
What did he say about Japan?
Well, this is actually WrestleMania, WWE, New Orleans, was stating that NXT, this is like 3 or 4 weeks ago, that NXT was nearly sold out, that none of the other WWE events were sold out yet, all were close, but NXT was beating them all, and of course, the internet went wild. Well, yeah, because Roman sucks, and yeah, because Rousey sucks, and yeah, because WWE sucks, and this card is awful. First of all, that's a topic for next week, but if you think this card is awful, just stop watching pro wrestling altogether. Don't watch any of it. Don't watch Indies. Don't watch New Japan. Don't watch Ring of Honor. Just shut your TV off when wrestling comes on and don't pay attention.
Yeah, just quit watching wrestling. There's no way you have negative thoughts on this show. There's no way you can. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week.
But you're an idiot. If you think that, you're an idiot.
100%.
If you think that, go kill yourself. But not your actual self, your wrestling self.
Exactly. So, this report, like I said, 3 or 4 weeks ago, give or take, maybe a little longer, and the report actually said, I don't know if this is on his show or in his dirt sheet or what, I don't subscribe or listen to either one, but it basically said, there's no worry that these won't sell out, or at least be close to sellouts, it's just taking longer than expected, which is fine. I'm okay with them reporting that, even though I don't think that's something that needs to be reported. It's the way the article that I read was phrased. It was total clickbait, that kind of stuff. Stuff we don't do on our page. But now,
we don't do clickbait.
We don't do that
bullshit.
on our
We're
page.
Too good for that over here. We also don't have the time. We would probably do it, but we don't have the time. It's not like we're better than that. We just, a view's a view. We just don't have the time.
Fair enough.
So we don't do it, and then we get to act all fucking smug and high and mighty here on this podcast.
Fair enough. Now, the new report is that WrestleMania ticket sales took a huge bump, the biggest bump in sales that they have seen since they went on sale after Daniel Bryan was cleared and confirmed for WrestleMania. And it was also kind of stated that, this was a good thing. It was not. It then stated that this was not going to happen. Obviously, wasn't going to sell out unless Daniel Bryan wrestled. And I want to play both sides because good for Daniel Bryan that ticket sales bumped after this news. I hope that they pay attention to that. I hope that he gets put into some good spots because he deserves it. That being said, you just wrote an article 5 or 6 weeks ago saying it's going to sell out or at least be really close. But now you're saying, well, now it's really close because of Daniel Bryan. You can't do both things.
Yes, you can.
Well, you can, but it just kind of calls your credibility into question,
Daniel
doesn't it?
Bryan changes everything. Daniel Bryan, for, what is this, WrestleMania 34?
Correct.
Daniel Bryan for WrestleMania 34 is like 9/11. He changed everything. That's
He
maybe
did
not.
change
That's maybe
everything.
not like an accurate.
It's probably a
maybe not
horrible
like an
comparison.
accurate comparison at
It's a
all.
horrible comparison.
But Daniel Bryan was the 9/11 of WrestleMania 34. Oh my god. That
As
is
a matter of
headline.
fact,
Make that the title.
we-
Of this. When you put this show up on iTunes, make that the
Make
title.
that the title.
Daniel Bryan is the 9/11 of WrestleMania 34.
Don't think we're gonna do that.
Hold on, wait, let us explain.
Oh, that'll be the tagline at the beginning. We'll get that one going.
He changes everything.
He does change everything.
Save this soundbite for if you ever do like a compilation of our best soundbites. Save me saying Daniel Bryan is the 9/11 of WrestleMania 34.
It's getting highlighted. That's for damn sure. Oh,
but he does. He does. He changes everything. So I get how he could do it this time. I'm not one to defend Uncle Dave, but I can see where he could use this as the opportunity.
Yeah, and no, like I said, I'm not taking away anything from Daniel Bryan. I totally believe that is the case. I'm just saying, when you already said they're probably more than likely going to sell out all, if not at least Mania and the Raw after, plus NXT, which was already super close. And then you say, well, it's solely because of Daniel Bryan. You said that was going to happen anyway. It's just happening faster because of Daniel Bryan. And that's great. That's great for Daniel Bryan. And like I said, I hope that works out the best for him. And Dave Meltzer, if it doesn't sell out, he will make some other reason of why he knew it was already not going to sell out, and it was this reason or that reason. And he'll be right regardless. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. You know, there's probably someone out there that hopes this doesn't work out for Daniel Bryan.
Someone who is a complete, total asshole.
That guy I work with that I've talked about on here a few times that loves wrestling and always talks to me about wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Big Braun Strowman fan. Wears his Braun Strowman shirt once a week now.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's dope. I love looking at a Braun Strowman shirt. So, the first day I worked with him after Daniel Bryan came back, I started doing the yes chant at him, and he shook his head. He looked at me and shook his head and was like, no. I was like, are you serious? And he said,
God.
said, no, I hate this. I was like, what? And he was like, just don't like it. Just don't like him. Never cared for him. I was like, are you kidding me?
Oh.
What?
Well, we did talk last week about...
I found him. So now I do the yes chant at him every time I see him.
Well, that's also a pretty solid response.
Childish.
No, I like it. I would probably do the same thing. I'm not childish at all, and I would totally do the same thing. So, next week, Mike, besides being the drive-by go-home show to WrestleMania, is also a year anniversary for Drive-By. I've been doing this for a year as of next week, and I've seen changes. We've seen alliances change. We've had a super kick party. I've added a permanent co-host unofficially, officially really soon. And, I want to continue to do this for years to come, and hopefully we just get better and better at this, Mike. And I'm excited that we're at a year. It doesn't seem like a year. It doesn't seem like it was a year when WrestleMania happened, like last year. And it's crazy. Time has flown. And this wrestling year in 2017, I know people were hating on it, but it was pretty fun. And 2018 might be the best year of pro wrestling in a really damn long time.
I can't believe it's been a year.
No.
A year drive-by.
No. A year drive-by, high spots, low spots, dirty spots, dick spots.
Networks.
And then there's a near fall network and the birth of a revolution. And hey, let's keep moving on, right?
Yeah, that's wild.
It is wild. But we'll touch on WrestleMania a little bit this week, because next week, let's be honest, that's all we're going to talk about.
All Mania.
So,
it's all Mania next week.
All Mania, all hour plus long.
Talking
we'll
the
get
whole card, top to bottom. who we're gonna play Fuck, Marry, Kill.
We don't do that.
With the tag team champions. Parties. Braun Strowman, the bar.
Fair enough.
So, it's gonna be a great show, guys.
It's gonna be great. But before we go today, we want to leave you guys with this. We thought it would be fun to have a quick debate. It might not even be a debate because I don't know Mike's answer. What match should close WrestleMania 34? Fans get all up in arms about this because technically it's kind of like, hey, you win the Royal Rumble, you main event WrestleMania, and then that person like never main events. If you if you state that the last match is the only way it can be the main event if it's the last match on the card, then it almost never happens. Last year it was Taker Reigns, which wasn't even a title match, so
it's been Taker someone plenty of times.
Yeah, and it has. But we got let's just be completely honest. We have an absolutely stacked card this year. There's not one match that has been announced other than, there's no offense to any of them in it, other than the Battle Royals, that I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I'm interested in that. I am interested in literally every single match, top to bottom.
As am I.
I don't know what the proper answer to this question is, so I guess we're just going to spitball it and see. What do you think should close the show, Mike?
I've got, like, a weird answer.
That's even better. I like the
match
answer.
itself that's weird. It's just my answer's kind of like a weird how I'm going to go about it. I have a match that I want to see close it, but a match I think should close it. So the match I would personally like to see close the show, I don't think is what should. I want to see, obviously, AJ and Shinsuke close out Mania. It's going to be the best match of the night, easily. It's going to be a half an hour of a wrestling clinic, and I think it should close the show. For me personally, I want it to. What I think should close the show, though, realistically, should be Brock and Roman. This is the culmination of the...
Hold on. Everybody that just threw your phone or your listening device, calm down, pick it up, and let us feed you like baby birds and explain this to you.
Let me explain. This is the story they've told for the last year or two, at least.
Yeah.
You could say they've been going back 2 years on this, 3 years on this story.
Since the streak ended.
This is the story of Roman cutting down the beanstalk and killing the giant.
Yep.
We've been telling it. It rightfully deserves to be what closes out Mania. And do I want to see Roman Reigns get booed again to close out a big show? No, I do not. But this is the storyline that rightfully deserves that spot.
You know, you explained that so eloquently.
And I'm also not even sure that Roman gets booed 100%.
I'm not sure either. There are things that could happen, like something we talked about earlier. Maybe a Paul Heyman turn, a Roman turn, however you want to phrase that. I don't know that he would get booed after that.
A Roman heel turn would end with cheers.
I agree. And, you know, however you want to frame this, I heard this mentioned on another show. I've heard people talk about it, but if you think that Vince doesn't want the last picture you see to be Roman Reigns holding that Universal Championship while fireworks are going off, you're insane.
Because that's all that matters. In a year and a half, when they flip-flop him back to face and you all cheer for him when he wins, that picture of him holding that belt with those fireworks is all that's going to matter.
It certainly is. And I can't rubber stamp that he's going to be it's going to be a heel turn or that this or that or the other. But I can pretty much almost guarantee that closes the show. And I'm going to agree. I agree with you. What would I want to see close the show? I'd honestly throw a toss-up between AJ Nakamura and Charlotte Asuka. But it's not going to happen. And I don't think it should happen. And that's with respect to everyone on this card.
While I'm not personally against Charlotte Asuka main eventing. It'd be incredible. We're not there yet.
No, we're not. We're not. But, I mean, it's a possibility next year, right?
I will say it's the third biggest match on the card, probably. But it's not the second biggest match on the card, you know?
I agree.
We're not there yet.
We're not. We're getting there. And in all due time, guys, they're not going to, I have absolute confidence that they're not just going to roll over on this women's revolution and revert back to bra and panties matches and pudding matches and all that shit.
You know, it's going to happen in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah.
We're just not there yet.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to headline, they're going to main event a SummerSlam first.
And let's be honest, we're aligning those stars. We're setting that up now. We've got the players in the ball game, and we're setting this up.
Please understand, they're not just going to headline Mania out of nowhere. Mania's not going to be the first pay-per-view women main event.
They're going to main event one of the big four first.
They're going to, and probably something more like a time killer pay-per-view in between. It'll be something like that. And
they main evented Hell in a Cell.
That's true, so they've already done that.
And let me throw this out to you. They main evented the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
They closed the show. So we're getting there, guys. Mm-hmm. We're just not there yet. But it's coming. It's coming.
And it's just not this card. There's too much on this card.
And I think you're right. We're going to get it at SummerSlam. Maybe this year, and maybe we will see this at 35. I don't know. But it's coming.
Charlotte, Ronda Rousey. Say Ronda Rousey really is Kurt Angle.
Yeah, then this
her and Charlotte, if they could keep her and Charlotte or her and Asuka, her taking on Asuka's streak next year at Mania, that's a main event.
Yeah, absolutely. If the streak's still intact, and we're going to talk about that next week. Okay. But either way, I'm just saying we're getting there. We may be getting there a lot sooner than we even think. I will say it hinges on Rousey. It really does. And that's no offense to anyone on that roster, but she draws the eyes. She's going to draw the eyes. If she takes to this,
except
like
you,
we
Natty.
all hope...
I want you to take offense to that, Natty.
If she takes to this like we all think she will and hope she does, then we'll know in the next, I'd say 3 to 4 months. And if if Rousey is main eventing SummerSlam with someone, count on her against a champion at WrestleMania 35, possibly main eventing. Now, all that being said, if Nakamura and AJ aren't the main event, I'm going to toss this out here to you, and don't be offended. How would you feel about them opening the show, the main card?
Yeah. Okay.
Here's the thing. I think, for one, all intent and purposes, that's a super important spot. You have to have a good match on that opening match. Here's why I fear it. Because
this is in New Orleans, right?
Yes.
This is in New Orleans, so it's going to be East-ish coast. It'll be dark-ish, hopefully.
Yeah, getting there.
This isn't outdoors, is it?
No, it's in the Superdome.
Oh, okay, then I'm fine with this. Yeah, okay, yeah. Let's do this.
But here's the risk they run. I'm just going to throw this out there. Is anything going to compare to it after that? Will they do enough? Because we all kind of assume that's probably going to be the match of the night, no questions asked. But can it be a match of the night and everybody else do enough things different and well that will still keep the card interesting? See, it's weird because I wouldn't mind them being in that spot, but then I'm like, man, are they going to kill everything else?
They're probably going to kill everything else. The more I think about it, the more okay. I personally think Nakamura is going to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even if he doesn't, this is going to be a highlight. This is going to be the highlight of the night for me. I don't want that right away.
No, I get what you're saying.
I want to hold on to that till later. I would be happy if it was one of the final 3 matches. I want that later.
What if we...
It doesn't even really have anything to do with them ruining the rest of the show. Because a lot of times we've seen matches that were just match of the night. And it doesn't really take away from anything. I like to
No.
have something to compare it to. I'm not for the rest of the show like, well, it wasn't as good. I'm
Right.
more like, well, it wasn't as good, but it was still pretty dope.
Yeah,
So
and that's the thing.
that
And
doesn't
we
affect
could,
me. Yeah, I want that moment later in the night.
and we totally could do WWE title, SmackDown Women's title, Universal Championship. I'm okay with that. I don't know if that I don't know if that flows well. I don't know. I hope that they figure it out and they get it situated and they know what they've got going in to get that lineup kind of, perfected. But it's an interesting debate, and I guess we'll know in a week, right?
A week and a couple days.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm pumped up. I can't wait for WrestleMania. I can't wait to talk about it next week with you. I can't wait for the following week to hopefully debut a new formatted drive-by, man. We got exciting shit coming up, man.
Things are happening.
Things
It's going to be exciting for you as fans. You're welcome.
You are always welcome. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Guys, do us a favor. Go to our Facebook page, like and follow. Facebook.com/Nearfall Network. On Twitter, @Nearfall Network. On Instagram, King?
@Nearfall Network.
Simple as that. Follow us, like us, subscribe to this on iTunes, on YouTube.
Literally follow us. Like, I want you to, like, everywhere
Be
I
behind
go.
us
I want you
while
to
we're walking
shadow
around.
me everywhere I go. I just want you to follow me. Like a silent protector in the night. Like that cartoon, The Max, that was on MTV in 1995. About that girl that had that silent protector named The Max that followed her around.
Wow,
But he wasn't
it's a throwback.
silent. He talked. Yeah, that was a throwback, wasn't it? I deep cut references here on Drive By. These are the things that I'm bringing as a co-host. Are deep cut references
Drive-By
to things that only a very specific niche group of people in their mid 30s to mid 40s will get. That is not even the demographic of the people that listen to our show.
It's not, but you know what? We love that niche anyway.
Yeah, I live in that niche.
We do. Anyway,
Or
subscribe.
Niche, if you will.
If you will, baby.
Speaking
or
of if
GIF,
you will,
I don't
baby.
know. The debate's still out there.
Speaking of dusty roads, baby. Coming soon to the Nearfall Network, baby. Shooting at the mothership. A comprehensive review of WCW Saturday Night Home with the mothership on TBS until 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, baby. Featuring our own shooter. Coming soon.
Correction. Not happening. No Saturday
Coming
Night Mothership
soon.
show. No.
The fans are demanding it. The
They are not.
world wants it.
One of our biggest fans
Shooter.
actually said, I will not watch that.
Shooter. Look, man. It's coming soon, guys. I promise. I wouldn't lie to you. Don't make me a
All
liar.
I can tell you is,
Make me a liar.
don't hold your
Don't
breath.
make me a
You
liar.
won't make it out alive. Guys, it's been awesome talking to you. Mike, it's been awesome talking to you, having this conversation. Can't wait to do it again next week.
As always.
As always, it's been real. It's been fun. We will catch you next time.
Have a great week, guys. We love you.